Saudi Arabia is partnering with Lucid Motors, a competitor of Tesla, to establish itself as a major player in the electric car manufacturing industry. The country has set an ambitious goal to produce a significant portion of the world's electric vehicles and reduce its dependence on revenue from oil. Lucid Motors has committed to producing 150,000 cars per year in Saudi Arabia by 2025, which is a major component of the country's production target for the next 7 years. The kingdom's public investment fund, which has invested over $2 billion to acquire a controlling stake in Lucid, provides significant financial support to fund this effort. And today, let's talk about Lucid's new manufacturing factory and its first store in the Middle East. In 2022, Saudi Arabia made a lot of money from selling oil, thanks to the higher prices caused by Russia's conflict with Ukraine, and the country's government-owned oil company, Saudi Aramco, saw a big profit increase. The country is also looking to invest in the electric vehicle industry to create more jobs and take advantage of the sector's predicted growth due to efforts to combat climate change. In addition, Lucid will set up its factories in the King Abdullah Economic City, which will serve as the central hub for the company's supply chain. The buzz around the possibility of a complete acquisition of Lucid by Saudi Arabia's PIF, which currently owns more than half of the automaker, has contributed significantly to the rise in Lucid's stock value. As a result, Lucid has outperformed Tesla, making it the top-performing stock on the Nasdaq Composite in the past week. Saudi Arabia supported Lucid Group's plan to create an electric car production plant in Jeddah, emphasizes the gaps in infrastructure and investment within the country's supply chain. With the support of the Public Investment Fund, Lucid has secured land in King Abdullah Economic City for the multi-billion Riyadh project. In addition, it will have an expected peak capacity of 150,000 vehicles annually. The factory will also initially assemble pre-manufactured Lucid Air vehicle kits before eventually producing complete cars. This manufacturing strategy is smart, as the kingdom has had production limitations that have discouraged foreign automakers in the past. Jaguar Land Rover, owned by the Indian company, cancelled plans to build a facility in Saudi Arabia in 2015 due to disagreements about fees and environmental challenges during production. Toyota was also approached in 2017 but abandoned plans to build a Saudi factory in 2019 due to high labor costs and a lack of local demand and supply chain. However, Lucid may have better luck due to the kingdom's recent focus on localizing engineering jobs and promoting EV use. The main challenge is still the lack of a parts supply chain, which could increase import costs and reduce profits for manufacturers. Recently, Saudi Arabia has taken steps to bridge the gap, such as investing in the automobile manufacturing industry. In 2017, SNAM signed a contract with SsangYong Motor to build an auto production factory, localize the supply chain, and train technicians in the country. SNAM's factory is currently under construction, and they plan to produce 10,000 cars in the second half of 2023. Additionally, Saudi Arabia is working towards making lithium a crucial component in EV batteries. The country has partnered with Australia's EV Metals Group to build a lithium chemicals plant. A vast group based in Melbourne also announced its intention to produce electric vehicles and lithium batteries in Australia. Establishing Lucid's factory in Saudi Arabia is a significant step towards achieving the country's Vision 2030 goals. It highlights the need to strengthen its manufacturing industry to achieve its post-oil objectives. Now, before we continue, I'd like to thank you for getting this far. And if you want to know about Lucid's first store in the Middle East, then make sure to watch this next part. Furthermore, Lucid has launched its first store in the Middle East in Saudi Arabia. As previously mentioned, Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Wealth Fund, the Public Investment Fund or PIF, owns most of Lucid Group due to a large investment made in 2018. It was no surprise when Lucid announced their plan to build a vehicle assembly plant in Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah Economic City. The new plant, AMP2, will have the capacity to produce 155,000 electric vehicles annually and has received $3.4 billion in funding and incentives from Saudi Arabia. As a result, it makes sense that the government has committed to purchasing up to 100,000 Lucid vehicles within the next decade. Lucid has recently launched its first ever studio in the Middle East, specifically in the bustling capital city of Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. By focusing on a direct-to-customer approach, the studio in a mall within the Al Nakhil district provides an exceptional digitally driven experience that can be personalized based on the customer's preferences. Customers can choose to visit the studio in person, make inquiries online, or even combine both options for a seamless experience. In Lucid's Riyadh studio, customers can learn about the brand and its products while experiencing the company's one-of-a-kind design style. Lucid Air cars will start being delivered in the Middle East before the year ends, thanks to the Casa Grande factory in Arizona. Initially, the Saudi Arabia factory will put together Lucid Air car parts made in the US, but it will eventually create the whole car. Initially, the vehicles will be sold in the local market, but Lucid plans to export them to other countries in the future. The EV startup has announced that Faisal Sultan has been promoted to the role of Vice President and Managing Director of Lucid Middle East. He will be reporting directly to Peter Rawlinson. Sultan brings with him 23 years of extensive automotive experience from various companies such as Lucid, Industrial Clusters, FCA, Magna, Ford, and GM. He also held leadership positions in several areas such as industrial development, manufacturing, operations, engineering, and program management across different regions. So, what do you think of Saudi's ambitious goals in EVs and Lucid's response to it? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And while you're at it, make sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons as well. Additionally, Lucid just dropped its Q4 earnings report in February 22. So, if you want to know how the company performed during the last quarter, then make sure to click and watch this video right here and enjoy. And that's the end of this video, guys. See you next time.